Seeing as the Simpsons are super good at predicting events and super accurate with it, it's probably worth taking a look at what they have to say about the end of the world. My name is AJ Spatola with Most Amazing, and these are the top 10 scary Simpsons episodes that predicted the end of the world. At number 10, in Life's a Glitch, Then You Die, from season 11, episode 4, the Simpsons dive into the Y2K bug. Lisa warns that a single malfunctioning computer could corrupt the world, and Homer of course brushes it off, but surprise, Homer's own machine at his nuclear power plant messes up, causing chaos. Machines all over Springfield malfunction, leading to car crashes and town-wide mayhem. To top it off, machine gains sentience and actually rebel. Electric razors turn into warriors, and traffic lights start shooting lasers. Gets even wilder when they discover a government plan, Project Exodus, for a space evacuation. Lisa gets a ticket to a spaceship, but Homer and Bart have to hitch a ride on another. Then typical Simpsons luck strikes as their ship heads for the sun. Homer, perpetually Homer, frets about the sun being the hottest place on Earth. At number 9 is the Mayan Doomsday. In season 24, episode 2, things get seriously spooky as the show takes a wild leap into ancient Mayan culture, predicting their end of the world scenario based on their calendar. The Mayan priest, who awfully resembles Reverend Lovejoy, talks about their calendar predicting a doomsday. Major Quimby suggests a human sacrifice to save the world, aiming for Homer but ending up sacrificing Moe instead due to Marge's quick thinking. Now jump ahead to the present day in Springfield, and the Mayan gods arrive, mistaking Homer for the original sacrifice, and thus deciding to obliterate the planet. If you're enjoying this video so far, please support the channel by pressing like, subscribing to Most Amazing, and ringing the notification bell. It's free! At number 8 are the zombies. In this Simpsons Halloween special, things get really eerie as everyone in Springfield turned into a zombie-like creature after eating burgers contaminated with a virus. Bart luckily is immune to the virus, so the hope for a cure rests on his shoulders. The family tries to escape, but it's likely they're a magnet for more zombies. Then chaos breaks loose. But Apu, being a vegetarian, is safe from the infection and helps guide the Simpsons through the chaos. But eventually, Homer gets bitten, and it's super intense as Bart grapples with the idea of having to end his dad to get away. But then the solution is shockingly simple. All it takes for Bart is to take a dip in a soup that the zombies are chowing down on, and poof, the cure is distributed. At number 7 is God's Last Prophet. In season 16's The Father, the Son, and the Holy Guest Star, Bart's teachings sparked a post-apocalyptic war, leaving the world in ruins. Bart's journey into Catholicism seemed innocent enough at first, but it escalated when he became a unifying religious figure in this distant, fractured future. The conflict didn't start until 1,000 years later, when Bart's teachings were interpreted differently, leading to a massive war between two factions, both claiming lineage to Bart's legacy as God's last prophet. This glimpse into a Bart-centered religious warfare remains one of the most unexpected and jarring scenarios in The Simpsons, as it's a curious deviation from the usual lightheartedness, showcasing Bart's influence reaching far beyond anyone's imagination. At number 6 is Rapture. The Simpsons sure know how to play with our imaginations. I mean, they've dabbled in some pretty wild stuff, including some scary episodes about the end of the world, and there's one where the family witnesses the whole apocalypse scene with horsemen wreaking havoc and everything. In this episode, The Simpsons Bible Stories from season 10, the Flanders family get a VIP pass to heaven while the Simpsons face a different direction, talking about a fiery staircase inviting them to the underworld. At number 5, thank God it's Doomsday. In season 16, episode 19, this story spins a tale about Homer thinking the Rapture is knocking at the door. He dives deep into believing that the end of the world is upon them, and with a specific date and time etched into his mind, May 18th, 3:15 p.m., he parades around town spouting doom and gloom prophecies. Convinced of imminent doom, Homer hopes in the whole town for a pre-Rapture party up on Springfield Mesa to all get saved. But the hour comes and goes without anything happening, making Homer the town's laughingstock. Refusing defeat, Homer recalculates and declares a new day for Rapture. However, when he goes to venture to the Mesa, nobody joins him, as he is the boy who cried wolf. To his shock though, this time he's right and heads off to heaven. There he discovers a worrying truth that his family is still on Earth, suffering through a tortuous tribulation. Moved by his family's plight, Homer bargains with God for a delay. It basically goes something along the lines of, hey, can you save Earth? And God's like, no. And then Homer's like, but Superman did it. And then God's like, fine. Yeah, pretty much a Simpsons Deus Ex Machina for you. At number 4 is this post-apocalyptic Barbeque. Season 27, Episode 2 of The Simpsons, called Q Detective, paints a very wild apocalypse scenario. It all starts with Homer owning a special smoker made from a fallen meteorite. This thing's no ordinary grill, it's got a backstory. In the episode's end, the smoker becomes a symbol of survival in a post-apocalyptic Springfield, wrecked by the, quote, waterless flood. The older versions of familiar characters like Milhouse and Ralph, all grown up, are roasting a pig around a smoker. But then mutant pigs crash the party, attacking everybody. The smoker ends up forgotten, lying around until aliens find it ages later in the dawn of the 1,000-year night. A super cryptic, messed up world where folks are fighting mutants and aliens just over a grill. At number 3 is the Planet of the Apes. Season 5, Episode 4 takes us on a journey through the legacy of Mr. Burns' teddy bears spanning 1,000,000 years. Lost and found throughout history, Bobo's odyssey saw him with Charles Lindbergh, then Hitler, and even aboard a nuclear submarine. Even encased in ice for 36 years, Bobo eventually found his way to the Quickie Mart in Springfield. And upon discovering Bobo, Homer intended to exchange the bear for a hefty reward from Mr. Burns. However, Maggie developed a strong attachment to the bear and refused to let it go, which led to a tense situation where the entire neighborhood, including Barney, threatened Homer, demanding the return of Bobo to Mr. Burns, as he was making everybody's life super difficult. Finally, Mr. Burns, after struggling to reclaim Bobo from Maggie, decides to let her keep the bear. But with a heartwarming gesture, Maggie willingly returns Bobo to Mr. Burns, who expresses joy and nostalgia. Snuggling the bear that night, Burns imagines what the future will hold for it, and cut to 1,000,000 years later, where a robotic Mr. Burns snatches up Bobo from a group of intelligent apes, initiating a chase followed by a robotic Smithers dog hybrid. Love it. At number 2 is the Doomsday Prep episode. The way the world ends in this one is classic. In Homer Goes to Prep School, the Simpsons took a wild ride into an apocalyptic frenzy. It all started when Homer faced chaos at a fun zone. Dads turned aggressive, hinting that deep down we're all a bit primal. This sparked Homer's apocalyptic imagination as he saw apes everywhere and met a guy convinced the world was heading into anarchy. Homer got drawn into the prepper world, fearing America's imminent collapse. He ditched work, causing a power failure, plunging Springfield into chaos. The preppers were hyped, but the Simpsons, being the good-hearted folks they are, shared their stash, only to find out that things were back to normal. In the end, just when they thought they were all in the clear, a meteorite full of brain-eating zombies crash-landed into Earth, leaving us with a cliffhanger showing that even after surviving one crisis, another awaited. The moral of the story seems like anybody's doomsday is around the corner, and sometimes things turn out just fine, until the next unprecedented disaster strikes. At number 1 is political chaos. In Treehouse of Horror number 31, Homer is chilling on his roof while chaos consumes a post-apocalyptic world below him. Pretty wild, but what the hell is going on? Now, January 20th, the same date as the next US inauguration, is the highlight of the episode. Marge is urging Homer to vote, and Lisa's listing a bunch of not-so-great things that supposedly went down during the previous presidency. Then chaos hits Springfield on Inauguration Day. As always, if there's a doomsday scenario predicted by The Simpsons that you think I've missed here in this video, feel free to let me know down in the comments, and perhaps I will include your suggestions in the next iteration of this list. This has been AJ Spatola with Top 10 Nerd, and I'll catch you all in another video. Later.